roll a dice. Well, what's the dice for, Scott? Just roll a set of dice. Tell me what you get.
Yeah, way to make your players nervous. Ask them to roll.
Yeah, exactly.
What is my rare? Oh, it's a mythic. Guess what it is, guys? Yes.
Is it a Comet Storm?
Yep.
No way. Hello, Magic players. Welcome to the Wake the Dead podcast, your weekly Magic the Gathering podcast brought to you by MTG MindGames. Like and subscribe to the YouTube channel for weekly Magic-related content, news, deck techs, and pack openings. I'm your host, Scott, and with me tonight is my co-host, Evan. Evan, what's up, man?
What's going on?
And we are joined by a special guest tonight. Joining us is our friend Kayle. Kayle, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing fantastic.
Right on. All right, so tonight we're just going to touch on, some light news. The biggest thing happening right now for all of us, as far as Magic news, is really that Modern Masters is coming out soon. It's going to actually drop later this week, right? On the 22nd.
22nd.
So, yeah. We didn't do a set review. We just wanted to save it for this last week to where we could just talk about, the cards as we have the full spoiler in front of us, without making, sensational claims of like, oh my god, this set's going to be amazing. Now that we have that, taking a step back view, we can actually weigh in on the set and see where things are going to fall.
I would just like to point out that basically the way I feel about the set after everything has been spoiled is the same way I felt about the set when those first 5 cards were spoiled, which is not terribly impressed.
Really? And why is that?
It's just... it's completely underwhelming to me. It's a bunch of cards nobody really cares about. The cards that people do care about were printed as mythics, so, we're still not going to see that many of them. It's not going to affect the price in any way, really.
Right.
And then, just all the silly things they did, like, oh, let's only print 2 of the commands. Let's only print 1 of the Praetors. It doesn't, just none of it makes any sense to me.
Yeah, Kayle, what do you think about that?
I agree. I was really hoping that they would change the rarity on, cards like Termagoyf after, seeing that the price actually went up after the last Modern Masters.
Exactly.
I was really hoping, but not so much.
Yeah. My feeling about the whole thing is ever since they changed the price point, because we had the first Modern Masters being $6.99, and I felt like that was, even though it was more expensive, it was still affordable. Like, if I was a kid, I could get $7 and maybe go buy a burrito from Taco Bell and a soda and still have, the $10 that my parents gave me, Maybe I couldn't go buy 2 packs and do the same thing, but at least I could get that 1 pack. With $10 now, if I'm a kid, I just can't afford that, And I knew... Yes, a lot of these sets aren't meant for the younger audience, but I think that's a total fail by Hasbro and Wizards. That's why the game was created, was for kids. So I think that the price point being $10 now, MSRP, these boxes are going for like $240, $250 if you're lucky enough to get them at MSRP. And if you're lucky enough to have a really cool LGS that's actually selling them at like $225, because I've heard that some places are selling them at that. Still, though, that's not really going to change the price on some of these cards in the secondary market, especially cards like you were saying, Tarmogoyf and Karn being like mythic. It doesn't look good for the future of why these sets were created, to put more cards out there. It's not going to do anything to really drive down the price, I feel. The only thing it's really going to do, there are some cards, like, for instance, let's just take a look at it. I'm happy that Cryptic Command is at rare. And I'm happy that Noble Hierarch's at rare. And Leyline of Sanctity had no place being like a $30 card. Like, some of these cards just had no place being as expensive as they were. So it's good that they gave us some of these at rare. But all of the mythics, apart from Comet Storm, maybe it's like some secret thing that they want Comet Storm to be like a $50 card. So I don't know. I don't know how to feel about this thing. It's definitely not a positive feeling. So...
Yeah, I managed to do about, I want to say like 2 or 3 of the Modern Master drafts, like, paid for in stores and stuff.
Yeah, the first
one.
Yeah.
But of this one, I'm probably only going to be able to do like 1.
Yeah.
Because I just don't see like the EV for it. I don't think it's going to be worth my money. I mean, I say that, but I still have like a box that I have pre-ordered.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
I mean.
Exactly. It's funny that you say that because we were looking at in our previous recording because unfortunately, I'd like to apologize to all of our listeners. It's been a little while since you've heard from us because we took a week off. I was doing some stuff and I was out of town. Evan had some classes and things like that. And we were kind of busy. And then we went to record on our second week and my computer ate our recording. So it worked out though. Now we're able to record an episode featuring Kayle. So yeah. But, this video will be coming out a little bit later, but yeah, Evan just actually shared a link. We were using this magicdrafting.com. It has an algorithm set up with all the cards from Modern Masters 2015 so that you can kind of do mock-up versions of sealed pools. If you're going to Vegas, GP Vegas is going to be such a huge GP for Modern Masters. So we were doing this over and over and over, even just opening up boxes. And even though the algorithm isn't exactly perfect, it does do maybe some mistakes here and there where you'll get the same mythic once in a while, which obviously we all know that Wizards algorithm, that's impossible, correct? Is it? Have you guys experienced that at all?
I have no idea about that.
Okay. I've never opened a box where I got 2 exact mythics. Like, that's just maybe back in the day, but I don't know. But yeah, this magicdrafting.com, I mean, yeah, Wizards doesn't like it when people do this with their product and things like that, but it's a little interesting to check it out, and you kind of get your own experience on what it's going to be somewhat like to open a sealed pool or draft or something like that. So
Yeah, I definitely appreciate these sorts of resources. My husband and I like to load up, like pack generators and be like, okay, what's your pack one, pick one?
Yeah.
That kind of thing. And of course, I pull this up, go to one pack, and what is my rare? Oh, it's a mythic. Guess what it is, guys?
Ooh.
Yes.
Is it a Comet Storm?
Yep.
No way.
There you go.
Nice $10 pack.
Fantastic.
I understand Wizards wanting to make a set where it's not 100%, you're hitting your $10 mark every single time. If anything, most of your packs, I think it was like 35% of them are going to be above the $10 mark. So I don't like what they did with this being the sealed like draft format. Some of these cards are from sets that I kind of just, you put in bulk boxes and you literally forget about till the end of time. How many shrivels do you have in a random box from like M14 or M13?
Right.
So I mean, I don't need another million rampant growths, and Plummet's nice for the draft format, and Repeal is cool, but we don't need more Fiery Falls. I don't know. At this point, I'm just debating semantics over it, but it doesn't feel as much as a home run as it could have been, and personally, I just want there to be squirrel nest in here, and there's not a squirrel nest in here. So, I mean, obviously we can't get squirrel nest because it's not in modern, but
You're not happy with the ants?
No, I like squirrels.
It's not the same.
Or even goats. They could have done goats in this. Obviously, there's cards missing out of here, and a lot of people have talked about Goblin Guide, but my biggest feeling is that this was the perfect space for them to print Damnation, and they totally failed.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Let everybody down with that one.
Yeah. I mean, Goblin Guide's okay, but Goblin Guide came out, not that long ago. Goblin Guide was in Zendikar. We're going back there, so you can see, Wizards does this where they foreshadow, hey, we're going to reprint something, and guess what? Goblin Guide, new art, cool, yay. But Damnation, we're never going to get that card, and unless we get it in Origins, I don't see it getting printed ever. It makes me sad.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And they kind of rubbed it in by giving I love my judges.
Yeah.
They do a whole lot of work, but they did the judge promo.
Yeah.
And what's it I know there was recently the From the Vault that we were all thinking would have Damnation in it.
Yep.
It was completely missing. So then we all looked to Modern Masters, and nope. So
It's never gonna happen.
You know, I don't know, because Maro's a pretty shifty guy. Like, he's pretty tricky, and I wouldn't put it past him to release an unset. And unset is specifically featured as a reprint in as Damnation in there.
Oh my gosh.
Like the third unset, and guess what? You're getting Damnation finally. It's like, wait, but we can't play that. It's not legal in anything.
Ah.
For real though, it has been 10 years since an unset. Can we at least finish the block?
Yeah, that's what I'm
Seriously.
saying. That's what I'm saying. Just completely borderless at this point. Like, make the lands just
no
completely
border at all.
borderless. They can do it, you know. I mean,
that would be fantastic. You know,
they've got the Eldrazi, you know, the template's there. So, but thankfully they did come out with Serum Visions as an FNM promo. We also have Path to Exile coming as well. So it's a little bit, you know, here's your things you wanted in Modern Masters, but on a more larger scale that you can win from your local FNM. But I think that it's not going to be long enough. Serum Visions, you know, is probably going to end up being that version at least. Will probably end up being around $14 or $15 because most of the sought after promos and FNM versions go to around $15, especially the played ones for modern at least. So.
Oh yeah, anything, you know, pretty and shiny.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. And of course, the last biggest thing that I've heard of with Modern Masters being the Daybreak Coronet Defunct. There's a huge lack of enchantments in Modern Masters 2. You have Daybreak Coronet that requires you to have an enchantment on a creature. We don't even have Bestow in here. We don't have anything to kind of give other creatures auras, other than, I think Red has a common one. What is it?
Oh, I don't remember the common one. I know that, I mean, there's Splinter Twin.
Yeah. Good luck opening Splinter Twin and Daybreak Coronet.
Right.
They gave us Goblin Warpaint at common in red, which just means that if you open a double white Daybreak Coronet, you have to play red also, which is just super awkward. Other than, I think some YouTubers were talking about how you can arrest your own guy to put a Daybreak Coronet on him, and then use your Kami in order to kill the enchantment to get rid of the arrest. And now you got it, but it took like a combination of like
cards?
5 cards. Yeah.
Seems legit.
It's possible.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I bet you see that in every draft.
Every draft, yeah. Especially your sealed pools, like you're gonna get like that's gonna be the combo. It's gonna be crazy.
Yep.
Yeah. So.
So dumb.
All right, moving on. We talked about the price point of Modern Masters and how that's probably going to keep. I mean, with MSRP being at that, if you had $250 to spend on a box of Modern Masters, wouldn't you just spend that $250 getting the 3 or 4 mythics that you need, right? Even at like $50 a piece on some of these mythics.
Yeah.
Like if you need 3 Cryptic Commands, I'm just going to go spend the $150 on Cryptic Commands and not buy a box of Modern Masters, right?
I'm doing it as more of a I want to be drafting this with friends.
Right.
Yeah.
So we're going to be having, you know, shadow drafts at our place.
Nice. Now, what would you consider a shadow draft? I've never heard of that term before.
Basically, we provide the packs.
Okay.
And then everyone drafts, and then you give back the cards at the end.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's similar to like a phantom. Yeah,
draft, exactly.
Right? Okay. Yeah, that's. I think we've done that a couple times with normal boxes. Amongst me and Evan and some of our buddies, you know, that like to draft and just play. But then we also do these things where we all buy in and everyone just buys 3 packs and then we'll just draft that. And yeah, it's pretty interesting because usually everyone just takes the rare and then you pass around all the commons and uncommon stuff. So you're kind of stuck playing whatever rares you want if you want to keep your value. So yeah.
Yeah, but with the shadow or the phantom drafts, like you just pick like, you know, the best card for your deck. Like you aren't drafting for the money. So you can end up with, you know, really good decks that you would normally be able to because of the monetary value involved.
Yeah. Right on. So let's move on to some of these questions because we wanted to ask you some questions about yourself, Kayle. So who are you in the community? Like, who would you say you are to your local gaming community?
I'm probably a local at, can I say where I go?
Sure, yeah, definitely tell us your LGS.
Yeah, I'm a local. All right. I'm a local to the Seattle area, and I hang out a lot at Card Kingdom
Right on.
here in Ballard, and I am a big part of the Lady Planeswalker Society. We do events every week, and we're a group that encourages people from all over to come and play, and we're super inclusive. So we create a fun and safe environment for all Magic players of all skill levels.
And that's not just for ladies, right? That's for
Correct.
everyone. Okay,
Yep.
good.
It's for everyone.
Lady Planeswalker Society in your area, do they specifically meet on Tuesdays, or is that just a weekly thing? Okay.
Yeah, the one nearest me meets on Tuesdays, and then there's one on the other side of the water that meets on Thursdays, like every other week.
Okay. Now, what would you say got you into Magic originally?
Originally, it was just because I was surrounded with it. I mean, when you're like a nerd or a geek, like there's a lot of nerd and geeky things around, so like you hear about it.
Right.
But I didn't actually start playing until PAX, probably 20, whatever the core set was before Mirrodin Besieged.
Was that 2011, I think?
Yeah,
okay.
2011, 2010, something like that.
Yeah.
But the little 30 card packs that they put in our swag bags.
Nice.
Those are really good when you're sitting in line.
Yep.
So my boyfriend at the time and now husband taught me how to play while we were sitting in line. And then he showed me the rest of the collection. And then I got involved with the Lady Planeswalker Society, and I've been playing ever since.
Nice. So what about the game was appealing to you or drew you to the game, other than, because you said that it was kind of like nice and convenient, they gave you the cards, it was in your swag bag, but other than that, what was it about the game that kind of grabbed you?
I like the strategy aspect of it, and I also like that the game constantly changes.
Okay.
So whereas, like I like chess, but I don't have all of the moves memorized. Sure. And it seems very like, oh, if they do this, then these are the correct plays to do afterwards, and you have to be thinking so far ahead.
Right.
And with Magic, because it's constantly evolving, like every scenario is, new things are popping up. It's great. And I also learned about the world itself. I have a bit of Orthos in me. I love reading the lore, and it's like all of it just fits together very nicely.
Yeah, that's awesome. What have you been doing recently with the Lady Planeswalker Society? Because you said you're part of the Lady Planeswalker Society. I know that there was some recent news that was really big for you guys, right?
Oh, yes. This past weekend, we and several other teams comprised of game companies and local groups participated in a charity tournament for HopeLink, which is an organization that provides meals for families and those in need in the greater Seattle area.
Okay.
And all of us combined raised $91,000.
That's insane.
Dang.
That's insane.
That's crazy.
Yeah, we set out to raise $30,000.
Yeah.
And we're just like, okay, that seems like reasonable. There's like 20 teams. We should be able to do this, guys.
Sure. Yeah.
Then Bungie decided to just kick it up a notch. And then everyone, as gamers, we get a little competitive. So everyone else started to, step it up. And then we ended up with 91,000.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, congratulations. That's awesome to be part of. That's a huge endeavor to take on, and just to be part of something like that is just amazing.
Yeah, my throat's still a little rough because we were all playing and it's very loud in there.
Yeah. Nice. Nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
well, I'll definitely try. I'll make sure I get the information from you as far as their website and things like that, so we can add that to our show notes, and
Oh yeah.
so our listeners can kind of, if they want to inquire about that, and they can
Uh
inquire
huh.
themselves.
Oh, and another thing we do, we often are the Learn to Play Magic group.
Yeah,
At least in the past year or two, we've been doing that at conventions. So
right on.
yeah.
Um, we actually have a local lady planeswalker chapter, I guess you'd call it.
Oh,
There's
nice.
a couple of individuals at our local shop, because ever since I started going to this local shop, I've always been wanting to kind of create a nice community that is super involved and everyone kind of watches each other's back, because what happens is you have different members of communities coming in and kind of cherry picking what they want to do and what they want to be a part of, and that's fine if that's what you want to do as far as events go and players come and go and things like that. But when you have a good backbone to your community, as far as what people would call the casual players, I consider that they're the homebred, like, individuals that are going to stay there. They're going to stick around. They're not just going to leave. So those are the players that are best served to train other players and teach them, this is a game. It's fun. There's going to be friends around. We should all be friends and we should all be involved. And they definitely do that. On Wednesdays, May and a couple other individuals, they specifically have kind of formed this Lady Planeswalker Society, and it's modeled after your guys' main official Lady Planeswalker Society. So I know that I wanted to interview her in a future episode and bring her around and things like that, and some of the individuals from her group. I haven't had a chance to take my fiance down there. She's always busy. She's always working, things like that. So, but yeah, it's going to be pretty interesting. I'm always trying to promote as much as I can my local community and things like that through the podcast, through the website, and everything I can do. So it's just something I like to do for fun. I don't know, I kind of stumbled upon it. So yeah, I thought that I hadn't gotten a chance to tell you about that, but it's been going
No,
pretty good.
we love hearing about other groups that have taken what like Tifa's built out, and
Yeah.
like seeing communities grow. It's fantastic.
Yeah. So what do you like to do in your free time apart from Magic?
Apart from Magic, I like to play video games, and I like to read, and I like to attempt to bake, though I haven't baked in a little while. Uh, and I like to peruse puppy dogs.
Puppy dogs?
There's a Kayle I know.
Yeah.
I look at a lot of corgis and
Nice.
Yeah. I actually have a Tumblr that's devoted to the various cats and dogs that I've met.
Nice.
So.
That's awesome. Right on, right on. What kind of what book are you reading right now, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm not actually reading a book right now.
Oh, okay. You're in between books. It's okay.
Yeah, between books. However, I have been playing a lot of Hearthstone and Mario and Luigi Dream Team.
Nice. What
All right.
projects, as far as Magic, that because we always work on decks or
Yeah.
different things?
Well, so I guess I would primarily be a limited player.
Okay.
But I do have a Black White Warriors deck
Right on.
that I've taken to F&M. It has 4-0'd once.
Nice.
Which felt fantastic.
Yeah.
And I have a blast with it. It's very, I think the highest cost thing is 4. It tops off at Sorin.
Okay, nice. I was going to ask that. Like, what's the backbone of the deck? Is it more of a creature-based, or is it... Because obviously warriors, right?
Yep.
But
It's primarily creature-based. Has the Chief of the Edge,
okay.
and has a lot of protection, a lot of the so like God's Willing and such.
Okay.
None of the tap lands. It's too slow.
Ooh, nice.
Super
aggro.
Yeah, super aggro. One of the things I do is to try and learn how to play something or a certain play style. I will build a deck
Okay.
that it encourages it.
Yeah.
So like when I first started playing Magic, I was heavy control because I wanted control seemed good and I wanted to learn it. So
Yeah.
I built a control deck.
Nice.
And
Yeah.
here I am again building an aggro deck because I didn't understand how to just turn things sideways.
Okay.
That seemed
Yeah.
too simple.
Yeah.
But and there is some depth to it. You know, you don't want to like overstep. Um, Another big piece of the deck is Athreos.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Athreos is insane. I feel like
so
he's definitely one of those gods that didn't really see his day in the sun, as all the other ones kind of had their time to shine, and he's
but
the
I
one that everyone
yeah
had high hopes for. But yeah.
no, I've been in love with him since I saw the spoiler for him. I was just
Yeah.
like, yes, yes, you are everything that I want.
Nice.
I'm hoping to build a tiny leaders deck. That's another format that
Yep.
I've been kind of digging a lot is tiny leaders.
Oh yeah,
We love Tiny Leader.
so
Yeah,
much.
Me and Evan are all about Tiny Leader.
It's like my favorite thing right now.
Yep.
yeah. We recently had a tiny leader, a small little tiny leader F&M.
Nice.
That was part of the greater F&M, but it was just like a pot of 8 of us.
Yeah.
Uh, that I came in second, so that was pretty good.
What were you playing?
Skullbriar.
Ooh.
It's heavy removal though, so
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. But it was also like I got decent matchups and real good draws.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
But I lost to Geist.
Of course.
Yeah.
Like the insert
Yeah.
eye roll here. Like.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. So I'm hoping with like an Athreos deck, I might have a better shot.
Yeah. Have the resilience, make them
Mm-hmm.
have to pay the life. Yeah.
Yup. If I can't be hitting you, you will be taking damage.
Nice. So going back real quick to your Warriors deck, I have a question. Are you
Yeah.
running more of an Erishan Foremost build, or are you running more of like a Bloodchin Fanatic build?
So at the moment, I'm running more of the Erishan Foremost.
Okay, so it's like
So
that Silverblade Paladin, double strikey type thing.
yeah,
Okay.
but I really like Bloodshin Fanatic.
Yeah.
I really want to play the deck with Bloodshin, but like I don't feel comfortable running both of them because of the double
Yeah.
mana cost that's required.
Exactly. Yep.
So yeah, like I really like I may like tweak the deck a little bit to shift it more on the black side because right now it's heavy white.
Okay.
Because I'm also running a one of shoot, I just blanked on- oh Annie Anafenza.
Okay. Right on.
Yeah, it's just a one of because I have creatures that are coming into the battlefield so often.
Yeah. Yeah.
And additionally, Anafenza with Secure the Waste.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, please.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. I mean, turn all those 1/1s into 2/2s, of course. Yeah. It's amazing.
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah. One of the things, because I look at analytics a lot when I come to these types of sets, and I don't usually tell people this too much, but it's like I do a lot of homework because I like to rogue deck build a lot. So
Oh yeah.
whenever I'm doing either a budget deck or trying to find some kind of intricacy or combo in the format, something it stems from the days of playing too much tabletop Magic with Evan and Duma. Just them playing these crazy, like I'm gonna play my Zurin Orb, Crucible of Worlds, Fast Spawn, and just win the game off Infinite Life decks, and like how am I gonna
Yeah.
come up with a crazy insane combo? So it comes from analyzing all the different mana symbols and what creatures are where and where they fall, and it also helps in limited, obviously, when you're just learning a set. And everyone's been talking about this kind of foreshadowing that maybe Origins will have the filter lands. And I feel like that more and more every day that since they didn't print them in Modern Masters, they didn't print them in, from the Vault Realms or whatever you call it. They've left them out this whole time. It just screams with all the double mana symbols in Dragons
Yes.
and all of the multicolored mana symbols in Cons that we should have the filter lands in Origins. And I mean, I'm not trying to make a claim. Everyone's been talking about it. It's not like I'm the first one, you know. But it's
Yeah.
similar to what you said. If you had a fetid Heath, you'd be good to go on
Oh
running
yeah,
both
Bloodshin would.
Bloodshin. Yeah,
Yep. Yup.
yeah. So it's just, it's something that you're like, okay, the room is there. I feel like they're just telling us it's coming, but they're not at the same time. I mean, I don't know. We'll see, I guess. So
hmm I am still pretty excited for Origins.
yeah,
That's gonna be rad.
yeah. I mean, I'm just hoping for an old school 7th edition art birds. I mean, it'd be nice to get a foil of that. I know Duma's been talking about it forever, so
Yeah.
yeah, it would just be nice to just get another Birds of Paradise that's a different picture before it goes out, you know. So
Yeah.
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 All right, let's go ahead and talk about our pick of the week. Evan, what do you got for us?
My pick of the week is going back old school to when I was really, I guess at that time I was the main like tournament, I guess you could call it tournament-ish player in our
Yeah,
group.
yeah.
It was back from Champions of Kamigawa. It's Uyo Silent Prophet.
Nice.
It's a 4/4 legendary Moonfolk wizard. She costs 4 and 2 blue. She has flying, but then she has the moon one of the Moonfolk abilities, which I always thought were really interesting. Her card reads 2 mana, colorless mana. Return 2 lands you control to their owner's hand. Copy target instant or sorcery spell. You may
Okay.
choose new targets for the copy. Now all the moon folks, I don't know. I know you didn't play that much during Kamigawa.
Yeah, I didn't.
Uh, all the moon folk had like these weird abilities where you paid 1 or 2 colorless mana, and you returned 1 or 2 lands to your hand or to their owner's hand, really. So if
Yeah.
you had somebody else's land, you could give them back to them.
Yeah.
But then you got to do all these like things that abilities that creatures normally don't get. Like there was one where you paid 2 and returned 2 lands to counter target spell unless its controller pays 3.
Gnarly.
There was Moloku, the Clouded Mirror, where you paid 1 and returned 1 land and put a 1/1 flying spirit token into play.
That's broken.
Yeah, so I combined like all these Moonfolk into this green blue deck. It was basically just ramp and Moonfolk.
Okay.
And then I used like Azusa back when she was only $4, and I had
Oh,
a
man.
billion of her. I used Azusa and Budoka Gardener and just all these different ways to put lands back into play.
Yeah.
So I could do all these abilities that most people at the time were looking at them like, well, I don't want to return that many lands because then I'm gonna end up like 5 lands behind you.
Yeah.
And I was just looking at it like, if I play Sakura Tribe Elder and Rampant Growth and Azusa, I'm going to be 7 lands ahead of you.
Yeah, exactly.
So going back 3 lands doesn't really hurt me that much. And it's going to put me in a position to just beat you down with all these flying wizards that you can't do anything about because I'm countering everything.
Yeah, the effects of, paying a colorless mana and returning lands to your hand, it's similar, or it likens to something like a Force of Will effect, so you're getting free effects for just land drops and things like that. Or I guess, no, not Force of Will, Gush, right? So where you return islands to your hand to counter a spell or something, or force spike something. So yeah, that's intense. I think that it's an interesting pick because, in a couple months, or, what is it? Probably like 5 months from now, we're going to be going to Battle for Zendikar, and Landfall, if they bring back a version of Landfall, I mean, I could see.
Please.
Yeah, I can see. Yeah, exactly. Because Landfall's so much fun, and they gave us fetch lands, so why not? So they're totally foreshadowing it, and I think that picking up some of these, even financially, picking up some of these type of old Kamigawa land returning or bounce land creatures that are Moonfolk could actually be in your benefit if you're a commander player, or even like in some cases modern playable. So you never know.
Yeah. I was gonna say Uyo would also be a really fun if you like blue. Uyo would be a really fun mono blue commander deck.
Right on.
You run a bunch of just huge spells that like time stretch. Like, I mean, I know everybody knows time stretch. Everybody loves time stretch. It still costs a ton of mana.
Yeah.
But if you can pay that much plus 2 and get 4 turns instead of 2,
oh my god.
I mean that's.
Then you're still playing those lands each turn, so you're never losing.
You're catching up. And in Commander, if you take 5 turns in a row in Commander, odds are you won the game.
Yeah.
Like, there's not much that your opponents are going to be able to do to hold you off for 5 straight turns.
Yeah.
If you're playing it right, and especially mono blue, like I mean, that you shouldn't be. Nobody should be playing anything against you anyways. You should be countering everything until you can get Uyo on the board and then time stretch twice.
That's right. That's right.
And then and she's a 4/4. You're taking 5 turns. That's 20 commander damage just from that alone. Like,
speaking of mono blue and commander, there's been a large influx of return all your permanents to your hand. We had cards like Upheaval Band, but now we have cards. Oh man, I'm like a loss for names for all these cards. But there's been an influx of return all your permanents to your hands, even from like Avacyn Restored with the miracles, and just different different stuff where it bounces your stuff when you attack. Like, there's all kinds of stuff. So I mean, blue has a lot more answers nowadays, I feel, than they did in the past, in like a few years ago, when we didn't have this influx of bounce all your stuff to your hand because you attacked, or put all these cards on the bottom of your library because you attacked, or something like that. So it's just a mono blue EDH deck nowadays is way worse than it used to be. I could see you running a mono blue commander and having a lot of different avenues to go rather than just countering like you used to in back in the day. So
I have one built right now. It's based around Talrand though, and I don't know. I guess I don't know if it's just because I don't have some of the harder to get stuff. Like, I don't have a remand to put in there. I don't have a cryptic command. So it's always been kind of lackluster.
Yeah.
Like trying to get all these. And I think the one time it actually started to work, I ended up getting, like, my Talrand ended up getting killed like 10 times.
Sure.
I still, because I had so many counter spells and stuff in the deck, I still managed to get him out one more time at 14 mana or 24 mana or whatever ridiculous amount he got up to. But I didn't enjoy it. Like, I wasn't happy with it.
Because if you have 14 mana to play Talrand, that's like Talrand plus 7 other spells you could have played and gotten like all these drakes.
It was so bad. Like,
did you at least make it several drakes?
Yeah, exactly.
But like, I don't think he's ever stayed on the board more than 2 turns in a row. Yeah. So I'm kind of over him at this point.
Right. All right, Kayle, what would your pick of the week be?
Teysa.
Teysa?
Specifically, Teysa Orzhov Sion.
Ooh, good choice. And why would that be?
Teysa's always had a soft spot in my heart ever since I was introduced to Commander. And we were trying to find a commander that would fit my particular play style of wanting things to be useful at all times.
Yeah.
Everything has a purpose.
Yeah.
And as when it also trained me on triggers and the fact that I can respond to just about anything.
Nice.
So, for those that don't know, Teysa is 1 white black legendary creature, 2/3, sacrifice 3 white creatures, remove target creature from the game. Whenever another black creature you control is put into a graveyard from play, put a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying into play. So, basically, sack outlets, a lot of little dudes, bang, bang, bang. Eventually I win.
Yeah, I think Teysa at the time, what was it? You're playing like a lot of token generation, right? With spirits and things like that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. A lot of token generation. And just any kind of white token generation. Like, I need to actually put in Secure the Waste because that's pretty good token generation right there.
Yeah.
At instant speed, yes. Yes. But even in, like, the lore, Teysa just seemed like a badass.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to be, super strong and super buff. You can just lawyer your way to victory.
Lawyer your way. Nice. I think she's criminally underpriced right now too. That's from a financial standpoint.
Yeah.
At $1.88. Come on.
Really?
That card is super
with
cheap
tiny
nowadays.
leaders taking off?
Yeah.
That's surprising.
That seems kind of like red flag. That should be higher than.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand. Like we were saying before. What was it? The god that we were talking about, Athreos. I mean,
Yes.
like Athreos is indestructible and black-white, and you can run
Hmm.
him in the same deck that you could run Teysa, and it's just
Yes.
like, because then you sack 3 creatures, they have to pay whether or not they want to return them. If you don't
Hmm.
sack tokens, oh man, that's
Yeah.
intense.
Yeah.
So
Like,
Teysa is, yeah,
yeah,
awesome.
if I didn't already have a Teysa commander deck, I probably would have made a Teysa Tiny Leaders deck.
Yeah, yeah. And
So, yeah.
like big ups to the Clive Owen on Teysa.
Hmm.
Every single time I see this card, I think it's Clive Owen looking over at the girl.
Oh.
All right, so yeah, Teysa is really cool. Actually, for a little while there, when Teysa, what was it, Envoy of Ghosts came out,
Uh-huh.
as much as she was like a complete non-hit, I was I was hoarding Teysa Envoy of Ghosts. I would pick them up in trades as throw-ins because I was the guy that wanted all the Teysa Envoy of Ghosts. I think at this point I
Oh,
have
yeah.
74 Teysas, 35 of them are foil, and I think
Whoa.
15 of them are Japanese foils. So
Well, I
total
mean, the
total
art for
misspec.
that was
Yeah,
like that art. I
yeah,
love. Yeah,
yeah. I mean,
it's just she's
she's.
just
Go ahead. Go ahead.
being badass.
Right. She's like, I'm the
Everything
boss.
helps. Hmm.
You need to serve me. And guess what? I mean, the creature itself, 7 mana is a lot, sure. But when you read the creature, a vigilance protection from creatures 4/4 at the time, you know, that blew my mind. If blue
Yeah.
white black control or Esper control wanted to run this, that was the creature they could do. And having that all on the board, if a creature dealt damage to you, destroy it. Like, talk about protection shield. So at the time I was specking pretty hard on trying to get a bunch of these, and everyone just laughed at me at my local shop and was like, it never really saw anywhere, but it's all good.
Eh,
At least I have a bunch of them. So
yeah.
okay, so my pick of the week is a cycle from the Theros block. It's actually all the god weapons. We're talking about Hammer of Perforos, Spear of Heliod, what do we got? Whip of Erebos, Bidon of Thassa, and Bow of Nylea. My primary one would be the bow and the whip, as I feel like those are the ones that you're really going to see pick up in modern and in older formats, or even not just older formats. What am I trying to say? We're really going to see a lot of these god weapons in Tiny Leader and EDH. They're really good playables if you can get your hands on foils of them. Um, Ideally, the bow is actually part of a budget deck tech that we're going to be doing on the channel. Bow of Nylea, it's a colorless mana and 2 green, legendary enchantment artifact. Attacking creatures you control have death touch. For 1 and a green, you can tap it and choose one. Now you have different options here. You can put a 1/1 counter on target creature, or Bow of Nylea deals 2 damage to target creature with flying, or you gain 3 life, or put up to 4 target cards from your graveyard on the bottom of your library in any order. So this card's totally a toolbox. It's great if you have pingers in your deck. When you attack, it gives them death touch. So then, if they have inadvertent pinging, there's actually a card called Harbinger of the Hunt, where you can pay 3 mana and do a blanket 1 damage to all non-flying or all other flying creatures. So it clears the way for Harbinger to come in and hit them for 5 and killing anything, whether it's a hexproof creature or something that's just not gonna, unless it's indestructible. That's the only thing that's gonna be able to block this creature. So I really like the bow. And I mean, what more can you ask for? It gains you life. It kills, like, it does damage to flyers. It protects you against being milled. So, yeah, it's really cheap right now, and I feel like when everyone's going to be dumping all their cards to get into Modern Masters 2015, or even just modern cards right now, and Dragons is rotating, so we're not rotating. Dragons is gonna be a thing of the past now. So then we're gonna move to Origins, and everyone's gonna be buying Origins right after Modern Masters. Everyone's going to forget about bows. Everyone's going to forget about their whips. They're either going to need them or they're going to completely move them. And now is the best time to pick up that stuff, I feel. Right now we have a Teespring campaign going on for MTG MindGames. it's primarily just to fund our giveaways and our contests that we're going to have. You are able to get a t-shirt through Teespring, and any profits or anything that we make is going right back into the channel. It's, if anything, it's going to go towards, helping us get better recording equipment, or, just things like that. I want to get a box to give away, so that's definitely coming up in the future. We have another giveaway contest that we're going to be announcing within the next few days here as well. So just keep on the lookout for that. Most likely it's going to have to do with Modern Masters, so keep your eye open for that. But yeah, the Teespring, I'll make sure I put a link to the Teespring campaign in our show notes, or the description of this video, or however you're listening to this. We have until, let's see, the campaign's only going on until June 4th. So if you want to get a t-shirt for yourself, they're really nice. They have our new logo. It's MTG MindGames on the front in a little section over your heart, and then on the back it's got the big full size of the logo. And it's just a way to help and support the channel, help and support the podcast. It helps both. So if you like what you're hearing and you want to help us out at all, definitely go get yourself a t-shirt, and that'll be awesome. Yeah, thank you. All right, Kayle, what do you got? Anything non-Magic related that you want to talk about?
Yeah, the big thing was just Moxtropolis and Lady Planeswalkers.
Yeah.
I've been also playing D&D.
Nice.
I have a Dragonborn monk. I'm currently, I have a black dragon egg, and I am disguised as a purple Dragonborn.
Nice.
My original scales are blue, but I'm trying to be incognito. So I've successfully have been fired from a job and then rehired, so we'll see how the rest of the campaign unfolds.
Fair enough. Yeah, I actually DM for our, I guess you can call it bi-monthly Pathfinder game. So
Whenever we have time.
Yeah, whenever you have time. Really, we have the big group of guys that we're all friends with, and our friend Josh Ruloff, he initially kept, not complaining, but he was being very adamant about, like, hey guys, we never get a chance to hang out together. Let's play some Pathfinder. And I know that he doesn't enjoy DMing. He wants to be able to play, So I'm extremely animated and have tons of ideas about different things. I'll role play like crazy. I don't look like the type of person that would role play, and I get down with the voices, everything. Like, I'm all about it. So
Awesome.
yeah, I'm totally, I don't care too much about the mechanics of battle. That's what everyone else is into, and I'm more about the story and everything. So as far as like painting the tale and describing everything to everyone, and painting a picture, so it's just it's been a lot of fun so far. We've had, I want to say, 4 or 5 encounters, and they're like 3 to 5 hour game nights where we just like sit around until 3 or 4 in the morning. It's intense. So yeah, that's awesome.
Yes. Yeah, we don't do the late night. We actually, I do it with Tifa and our friend Steph, and Tifa's mom, who is new to gaming and new to D&D as well. And Tifa's husband Mike is doing the DM work, so
nice.
He's been working with us and making do.
Yeah.
I think Scott's been the most entertaining DM I've ever played with. Just sitting, we're just playing our game normally, and Scott just goes, roll a dice. Well, what's the dice for, Scott? Just roll a 12-sided dice. You want me to roll a 12-sided dice? Not a 20 or something? Just roll a 12-sided dice. Tell me what you get.
Better chances.
Yeah, way to make your players nervous. Ask them to roll.
Yeah, exactly.
And then most of the time it's just roll a dice. Okay, thanks. And then he moves on. I'm like, what?
Okay, you're good. Yeah, it's like,
fine.
Roll a d20. You roll a 1. Oh, man.
Don't worry about what happens. It's okay.
It'll happen in 5 minutes from now. Like, oh, great. Yeah, it's pretty fun just messing with the guys too because traditionally you roll a one and you're like, oh, what's gonna happen now? And it's like,
Yeah.
we'll see. Yeah, so and I mean, oh man, I think my favorite part so far about our campaign is that Josh has had a pet rat. And so many different people have had different pets. I think Evan, your character now has a pet frog,
A pet frog that
like
drinks. Yeah.
a pet dire frog, and Alex has a pet dire bear, and then Josh has a pet rat, and you're like Lion Witch in the
Are you all
Wardrobe. Everyone
druids or
has their
something?
pets. Yeah, I know. I don't know. Like
I'm
it
a
just
I'm a drunken brawler.
yeah, he's a drunken brawler that it's an NPC that's following around Evan, so it's it's pretty fun. Yeah, I got to keep it lively for me, so there's some interactions that I
Oh,
want
I
to take part in. So yeah, it's
can't
been pretty
remember what
cool.
I named him. What did I name him?
Oh man, I don't remember at this point. I have
How
it
can
written
you
down.
forget the name of
I
your
know.
precious frog?
Because we haven't played in like a month.
Yeah,
Oh, well, yeah, that's
yeah.
fair.
Dang it.
Yeah, we have our next campaign visit or whatever is going to be on the 23rd, so it's coming up here pretty soon. I got to prepare for that. It'll be interesting.
Nice.
Yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and wrap this one up. Kayle, where can everyone find you if they
They can
want to
find,
if they want to find you or the Lady Planeswalker
yeah.
Society?
So they can find me on Twitter at PaleKayle, PaleKayle. And Lady Planeswalker Society, they can find them on Twitter, MTG Lady Society, or on Facebook, facebook.com/Lady Planeswalker Society.
Right on.
That's where we post all of our events, and there's several documents listing where you can find your local chapter of the Lady Planeswalker Society.
Nice. Evan, where can everyone find you?
You can find me on Twitter at MTGEvan. That's it. That's all I got.
All right. I'm Skott. You can find me on Twitter at MTGScooter. That's MTGSKOOTER. And you can like and subscribe to the YouTube channel, MTG MindGames, where you'll find pack openings, deck techs. We feature the Wake the Dead podcast on there, as well as time-lapse art videos. Join the Facebook community, www.facebook.com/MTGMindGames. Thanks for listening. What do we say when we leave? I always forget
Keep
how
it
we
real,
close these
keep it
things. All
magic.
right, that's right. Keep it real, keep it magic.